Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Sports Matrix. With me, my esteemed colleagues, Sammy Hawks and DC. How you guys doing today?
I'm all right. Been a little bit of a tough few days globally, but otherwise, football-wise, which we'll focus on here, I'm good, man. Sam, how about you?
You're on mute, Sam. Can Sam even hear us right now?
His eyes are moving. They look a little crossed.
Hey, there you are. How you doing, Sam? Can you hear us?
I don't. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's so weird. I can't hear anything.
We're just having a full-on conversation, and then we go live, and you can't hear us. So, as per normal, everything is going just as we planned. Your mic is fine. It is your
yes, we can hear you.
That seems to be the problem.
Bob, how are you? Well, we wait on him to fix his audio.
I'm doing good.
I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna leave and come.
Yeah. I'm doing good. Tough weekend in fantasy football, which we'll talk about. A couple injuries, few injuries, more than a couple that were pretty tough. But I was gonna say good news, but I wasn't even good news. I went to the Bronco game, which was fun because we lost. I'm now actively rooting for us to
Caleb
lose now. Caleb, Drake, Marvin Harrison, I don't care. One of those three, I'd be very, very thrilled with that. So, besides that, not the greatest thing in the world. But let's check in on Hawk again. Testing.
No, we are back. I don't know what the hell happened there.
I don't know.
We went live and I got muted out.
Stage fright. It happens.
It is what it is. Where are we at? What I missed?
Just check. Nothing. We're just checking in. How was your weekend? How you doing this week?
I'm good. I just met my nephew this weekend.
Ooh,
very exciting
nice
stuff. He's about 6 weeks old. Bruce.
Nice.
So it was great. Awesome. He's adorable. And only one family blow up about politics. So overall, pretty solid weekend.
Nice. Real fun. So we're gonna hop right into it. Save it for the pod. Week 6. I'm gonna go first. Get it off my chest now.
Let's hear it, Bob. Safe space.
It's Jover. My team is done. That was it. It's over. Anthony Richardson, my king, my prince, my lover. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be out for quite a while. I think even today when they were asking about the injury, they were like, is he going to play again this season? And Steichen was like, I don't know. So it's like, I don't know. If the Colts aren't in it, that means he's probably not going to play again. So if that's the case, most of my best ball teams are dead. A lot of my other teams are dead, including our keeper league, which there was a couple trades today, which we'll talk about in the keeper league rankings. But yeah, my biggest takeaway, kind of talked about in the open, Broncos suck. My team sucks. Let's play some fantasy basketball tonight.
So who had the over-under at 5 weeks or I guess 6 weeks for Rob to transition to fantasy basketball mode?
Not me, man. I couldn't convince him to play NBA dailies last year.
Not me.
I'm gonna try and get in the streets this year, though. I'm working on the model. I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes for that. Doing some cool data.
It's winnable.
Yeah, one of the things that was really cool that I worked on this weekend was created a better in best ball metric, looking at over replacement, so like over your flex position, and then one looking at like the elite position, so like the top 12 in guard and wing, and the top 12 or the top 6 in big, and looking to see each week how many more points over that threshold guys scored than looking at average and stuff. It's a really interesting way to look at it, but we'll talk about more of that when we do hoops later. But pass it along to you guys. Childs, what's your big takeaway for this week?
Yeah. I think NFL wise, I just think we're in a little bit of a weird spot. Like, I don't really know what's going on with a lot of these. Like the AFC, the Steelers are the 3 seed, and the Steelers suck.
Wild.
Like, they're terrible. They've scored like 3 offensive touchdowns this year, or it's 5. I think it's like 1 per game, and they're the 3 seed. Like, what is going on right now? The Cowboys are terrible too, apparently. Like,
something's going on.
I don't know. It's like, what is it? It's San Francisco, Philly, and everybody else. It kind of feels like right now.
Did you see the Jerry comments about the passing game on the radio show by any chance?
I saw that like somebody asked him about feeding CD, and his response was, "No, I don't think we need to do that."
Yeah, because it was so funny because it was like a leading question that they were like, because like the radio host guys like definitely were just like, yeah, we gotta get like CD the ball, and he was like trying to like get Jerry to say that, and Jerry was just like no. Like I want to get the tight end
Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup.
He's I want to get Michael Gallup and the tight end involved. I like it when it's all spread out. And I was like, it's good news for CD Lamb.
And then the only other takeaway is KLK, man. I'm back. We set out Eat last week, and I came out and got high score again, in spite of -6 from my Washington Commanders call. I still had high score by probably 10 points. So I'm gonna take my little victory lap there before I pass it off to Sam here.
There you go. Go for it, Sam.
Yeah, it's really easy to do when a manager in your league benches DJ Moore when he puts up 45. Kind of easy to get high score when that happens.
Who could have done
least
that?
efficient manager?
Least efficient manager. And I looked at the difference between. We can look at the standings when we do power ranks, like the difference between my max points that I could have scored and like the points I have scored. And the difference is gigantic. Like it's bigger than any other teams in the league. It's not,
I'm gonna
like
look
the only
this
one who's
up.
even close to me is Burner, and I'm like that's not the air you want to be in. It's not good. But like at the same time, I'm third in points. It's not like I'm not scoring. Like it's tough.
And I think he has. Burner has like 2 50-point A-chain weeks like on his bench too.
On his bench,
He had like 70-something points from A-chain on his bench. So that's just one guy, and he is missing it from. I guess you're kind of just DJ Moore, but
it's DJ Moore and Zach Moss mostly. Because Moss is also sat on my bench like every week.
That's true. That's true.
So that's kind of the difference. But my it's not even a hot take. For the record, DC, I'm loving my division winners, of which I have the Steelers. So we have Dolphins in the East for the AFC, Steelers in the North, Jaguars in the South, Chiefs in the West. And then for NFC, I got Eagles in the East, Lions in the North, Saints in the South, and Niners in the West. And if we hit all 8 of those, we take home, I think it's like 17 or 18 grand, which would be.
Hey,
that's
the
awesome.
Steelers are kind of the
$20 bet
there.
So big parlay. I took separate bets for the Steelers to win that division. That division's weak outside of Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh's got the best defense out of those guys, and the offense should take a step up.
I mean, if they can beat the Bengals, because like they weirdly own Lamar. Like I know his receivers dropped like 18 passes, but like Lamar is 1-3 against them, so like they weirdly have his number. But
Burrow's not healthy. Burrow's not healthy.
He looked healthy Sunday.
He didn't look healthy last Sunday. Jamar Chase looked healthy. Joe Burrow was delivering the ball to a very open guy.
Yeah, he's been open a lot. Any last little keeper league takeaways before we move on?
9-1, baby. One spot. That's all I got to say. Let's go.
I hate that. Okay. Best ball portfolio review. One thing I'm still doing better at Hochberg at, apparently. Probably not for much longer, but me and Child staying the same at 21 and 19%. I think I maybe lost one team, and I'm still at 19%. Hochberg down to 16%, so he's right about where the expectation would be. I think it's around 17 is what your average is, just if it was random. So doing fine, but the big thing that I want to talk about today, we have a very, very special performer that is still hanging around the top 25.
22nd.
So Trials team, 806 points. Ace Viper on the leaderboard. I'm gonna throw
top score is 835, I believe. So within 30 points,
which is phenomenal.
I think they call that striking.
Yeah, very much, especially this late into the season. I guess it's kind of late, but it's not like week 1 or week 2. Like you're 5 weeks in and you're already in there. So over a third of the way of the regular season done, and you're in striking distance, as Hawk said. So, yeah, quickly kind of just talk about your team and what are some of the things you're liking, not liking, or just thinking about in general.
Yeah, I think there are a couple high level things to hit on. One, I think it's funny when I look at this running back room because it's those first 3 guys are guys I think I'm generally underweight on. Like, I don't know if I'm under market or not, but they weren't people I was specifically targeting. Like I was in on Penny. I thought Swift was being overdrafted. I don't think I started buying until he slid a little bit in drafts post suspension.
Do you know when you drafted this team?
I don't have the date attached, unfortunately.
But I guess it was we're more than likely
July or August.
In July.
Or
well, no,
sorry,
not
July. Most likely.
Yeah,
July.
it was in July. Didn't you wrap the whole thing by
I did
July?
not. My last draft was July 26th or something.
So pretty early on in the draft season, able to get this fun team. But yeah, Hurts Tua looks like a fantastic combo.
Yep.
And obviously just smashing at the running back position.
Yeah, and like,
dude.
But there's also that combo of like Ayuk. I was not like, there are 5 or 6 players here I was not high on. So my takeaway is like, we know nothing. Like I took these guys probably because they slid after ADP, and I was like, all right, they're good. I'll take them after ADP. But like it wasn't like I reached on it. Like Thielen, I think I'm relatively
How much? What percent of Thielen do you have?
Probably 4 or 5. Not high. So that's a takeaway, and then we're gonna find out if buys matter. Because I will be quarterbackless week 2.
Oh yeah. This is great.
If my internal thought is like, just keep me within 50 points, if I'm still hanging around at that point, which obviously there's still a long way to go to get to there. Mm-hmm. But like, if you can get me within 50 to 70 points those last 4 weeks getting through that bye, I would say buys still don't matter. But it's fun, man. I mean, I can't believe I have a team this high, and I'm trying to enjoy the ride right now with it, especially with Mostert's role about to be back.
Right? No, this team is in really good shape. Basically, everyone is an RB1 on their team pretty easily. Like, we'll see what Jeff Wilson is, but then at wide receiver, you got 4 guys who could go off in every single week, plus Adam Thielen, and then even the other guys like Aguilar. He might be the wide receiver 2 there, which I don't know if it's going to mean anything, but and obviously Jerry Jones wants to keep giving it to Michael Gallup. So,
sneaky take here. Rondell Moore is about to be RB1 in Arizona.
Wide receiver 1 or RB1? Did you actually?
RB1.
RB1. I wasn't sure if you misspoke.
No. He's been getting work out of the backfield ahead of like some of their backup running backs. So my gut just kind of wild card call. I think he's going to get like 5 to 8 carries a game with Connor out.
And hey,
like a Debo role.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't ever want to compare Rondell Moore to Debo.
He's not Debo, but like
not even the same breath. Not even
somebody
close.
Compared him to Eckler on a pod. They're like, he's a smaller version of Eckler, and that like he's actually better just handing him the ball than like having him run routes. But obviously he's not built like a running back.
I'm pretty sure Eckler's built like a running back. That guy is chiseled as fuck.
No, not Eckler.
No. He was saying Rondell.
Moore, yeah. Like.
Nice. So this is super fun. We'll be tracking your team. Quick update on my eliminator team. I lost 4 of my 8 eliminator teams this week, which not great. Had a bunch of Geno and a bunch of Watson, and I just lost a bunch just because of those teams. So only got 4 left, so not looking great for making it to the end of the year. I got like 1 or 2 of them I really like, but not looking fantastic with how much Eckler.
Yeah, when's cash on that?
Week 7, I want to say. So if I could get 2 teams through then, and then maybe get 1 or 2 more to week 10 or 11, I'd be feeling pretty good. But even min cash is only like $55 or something. So it's really, you're hoping to get to like week 10, week 11 before you get any big prizes. So we'll see how we do. But
what are your thoughts on that format now? Like, that you're
Yeah,
in 5 weeks into it?
I really like it. I definitely like it more than weekly winners. I think I messed up how much stacking I was doing in weekly winners. I only won I think I cashed once this week. I think I had got $10 back. I thought I got a refund from my NBA drafts. I was like, oh, which one? And I checked. I was like, nope, I just got my weekly winners payout. Like, that fucking sucks. But I like the format. I think I did a good job drafting. I think the strategy going kind of heavy running backs to start was a good call. I think I just missed on a lot of the late wide receivers, plus my early running backs, Eckler and Barkley, and even Pollard to some extent, just have been shit in the bed the last 3-4 weeks. So that's been that was the main reason why I haven't been doing well. But I like the format a lot. I think that especially the way that they did it for the main eliminator, not the little eliminator, I think has a really nice sweat, and it's going to be really fun for a lot of the teams that are still in it.
Nice.
But moving on, 2 power rankings. Hochberg.
Yeah, we've got a new number 1 in town. So
number
DC.
2.
Excuse me?
A new number 2 also.
Sorry. A new number 2 also. We'll get into that. That's really more to do with injuries than anything else. You lose the top player in the game, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But DC at 3rd high score in a row. Guys just roll in. There's I'm looking for the weak spot, right? And you're saying it's Ridley, and that's your weak spot's a guy who can put up 20 no problem.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's
all hail King Monty, man.
That's picking. I put me at 2, especially after the Henry deal, right? Like, the lineup is set now. There's no more guessing at RB2. He may not be the answer long term, but at least for now, he's putting up RB2 stats. He's good RB2. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take me at the 2 spot. Feel like the team's kind of complete, especially with the Kyle Pitts emergence.
I hope that's true.
Me too.
Well, now they got Van Jefferson in the mix. You got to worry about him stealing targets from Pitts in London as well.
I think putting Van Jefferson on the field helps the targets around him because he's just bad.
Yeah,
he is bad.
No, it's true.
What's that say about Mac Hollins? What's that say about Mac Hollins? If we're saying Jefferson's awful,
they're both bad. Yeah, they're both bad.
They're both bad. I agree. So Gouda, I still think he has an issue at quarterback. I think he still has an issue despite Breece Hall's incredible performance this week at running back 2. And I think he has a hole at receiver with, I guess he's going to start Puka every week. So that's going to be the hole filler. And he'll have Ayuk, Metcalf, Puka. He still has CMC. He can still, he still put up 113 this week. He's going to be fine. 3 spot. Greg stays at 4, especially with the cup thing. So just on this note, it is a buyer's market. The buyers set what they are willing to pay for the asset. The asset is either tradable or it sits on a roster that has no utility for it. So the best thing that Rob can do with Cooper Kupp, if he's not in contention, is jockey for draft selection order, right? That's not gaining anything. So you could disagree with how he valued Jaylen Warren. It's a good fucking deal.
So quickly, do you want to kind of?
Oh yeah, are we doing this now?
We can do this. We can at least start on it right now.
Yeah.
I'll, if there's a trade section, I'll hold my comments.
There's no trade section. This is where we're doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I made that trade with John, you'd be freaking out. That's all I'll say. That being said,
Rob would be freaking out, or I'd be freaking out.
Rob would be.
But
I agree.
Real quick on that point, it has nothing ever to do with the actual trade. It's the process that John goes about doing the trade.
Okay. I don't want to. We're not going to go down a John rabbit hole. That was just
let's not do that.
It didn't land. I agree with you, Hawk. I have no issue with the process. I know I negotiated with Rob. I'm sure other people were asking about Kupp, and if they weren't, that's on you, because Bob made it clear that he was moving him. So to not even inquire is on you. I think a 13th round keeper who's a top 15-ish wide receiver already better value in my book, but I get that that's a personal decision. And if you don't think Ridley at 28 is worth that next year, that's fair.
He'll be
have fun
29.
keeping George Pickens and Drake London again.
Was it
not
Ridley end of 4?
Huh?
Was it Ridley end of 4?
No. Bob wanted Ridley in a 6 for a 16, I think.
Yeah.
Cup. That was what was on the table. I didn't want to do the draft value combined with Ridley's keeper value. I believe that his keeper value was enough for that deal straight up.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I will say a 4th round pick has a lot of utility. That's 2 starters essentially that he could be picking up if Warren is the guy. And with you, he's picking up max 1 starter.
I think there's a very big difference between a 4th and a 6th round pick in our league, especially the way that I draft. I don't even I feel like I can get guys late who can pop off and do things. So like getting a 6th, 7th round pick that then I can't really keep the guy probably next year unless I really hit on him. It's a weird spot. And really, I think it's more Ridley. There's just something about that where I already got Higgins probably as my kind of wide receiver 2 that should be doing better but isn't. And I just want to take some swings at running back because how impactful Tony Pollard was / still is to Greg's team is massive. And if I can get a guy that's even 75-80% of that, depending on what's going on with Najee next year, I'm going to be very, very happy. So, I guess real quick, just to recap the trade, I have the trade history.
If you just scroll up the chat, it clicks in. You could click view, and it'll give you a nice little.
I was in my other. I was in the.
But real quick, while you pull that up, I think it's just really important to note process here. The issue everybody had last year with the Burner trade was he didn't fucking talk to anybody. He didn't fucking do anything. He just made the trade. And Rob went into the chat. He's like, yo, I'm moving this guy. Send me your best offers. I'm making a decision on Wednesday. Have your offer in. He's like, I sent counters to everyone in the chat. If you were paying any attention, you knew that he was really negotiating this. He hit me up on text. Yo, I'm moving Henry in the hour. If I wanted Cup, I didn't make an offer on Cup. If I wanted Cup, I would have made an offer. But everyone had the chance. Everyone who reached out was negotiated with. Nobody was ignored. That's the way a trade fucking works, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a guy, go get the fucking guy. The only time I will ever have an issue with a trade is when there's no process and it's a bad trade. And that's only happened once in history, and it almost cost Burner his spot in the league.
Yeah, I have no issue. I know Paul got a little hot, but
Paul got hot. I like that Paul got hot, though. That made me happy.
No, I like it too.
Well, it was his. I was talking to John about it. It was his welcome to KLK moment. This is how trades go down and keep your league. You're not going to always agree with them, especially if you're looking at the face value of oh shit, he got Cooper Kupp. But let's be honest, Greg's team is still probably a 4 to a 6 seed. I don't think it's much higher than that, even with Kupp. Especially locking in Dameon Pierce to his lineup with 6 to 7 points per game.
I think Javante's the guy there, and I think Javante's going to have a better come up.
Well, now he has to make that decision.
Do you mean Jaleel?
No. I mean, are you talking about the 20th round keeper of next year, Jaleel McLaughlin?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to look really good in a Blackouts uniform.
Let's move on from this one. I don't think this should have caused any uproar. A 4th rounder is fine. Maybe Ridley a little better, but let's go to the other trade real quick and just hit on it quickly.
This guy.
Yep, and then go ahead, Hawk. You got this.
Oh no, just I thought it was a good deal because I didn't like doing it. I didn't like this trade for me, but I know I needed to make the move. Derrick Henry's frankly still startable week to week for now. If the Titans tank, he might not be, but for a 5 Charbonnet, which is basically backup to Kenny Walker for Rob. There's some keeper value there if Walker goes down late in the season with a bad injury. It's a trade I didn't love, but I've made it.
Yeah. this is a move I may not have needed to make at this point. But one of the things I was talking to Hochberg about before we started, one of the reasons why I was fine moving Cup right now was if something were to happen to Cup specifically and Henry as well, and then I got absolutely nothing out of them when I already kind of knew I wasn't competing this year and they were my only real assets I could get anything back for. It was like this was the time I needed to make a move just because next week I had a feeling John might lose and he would be selling Eckler, and Eckler's a much better grab than Henry. So trying to get out from what I can right now. Henry, I still think has potential to improve this season. And if the Titans play well, they're going to play him more. But yeah, I'm fine with the trade. I don't think anyone had an issue with this one. It was more so Cup. But on the surface, like this isn't a whole lot different than the Cup trade. Just Cup is a little bit more value, I guess, because he's been so good, but he's also hurt. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I also think like a factor with Cup before we get back to rankings, just like
Puka has a bigger role than maybe we've ever seen anybody opposite Cup have, which is not to say Cup won't be startable, but I don't think he will necessarily be like top one wide receiver with Jefferson out Cup necessarily.
And Tutu was this close from housing the 70-yard touchdown as well. He had beaten the safety through the seam, and he was just this far off of catching that ball.
Just a little too small,
Just a little too small. We're going to hear that a lot with Tutu.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, again, just to kind of put a final note on this, I understand why Paul felt that way. I would like to have a conversation with him on the pod some other time just about trades in general and kind of defend my point and kind of hear what he has to say. But this is kind of how trades have happened in our league the last few years. So had to do it while the iron was hot. And now I'm setting myself up for a pretty solid team next year. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Hochberg, take over the power rankings. Bring us home.
Yeah, so just quick to go through the last five. We got John at 5, up 3 spots. First time getting that median. This is mostly for the bit. I want John to buy and compete. I love John. 6 at Paul. Nothing really changed. It was a good win against Gouda, but we all had that pegged. It was not really a surprise. Shanker still sucks. Burner and Brandon still suck. And Rob just putting you down at 10, mostly because you got blown out by me this week. But
I deserve
the trades
and I traded you there. Yeah, that's fine. I'll probably be there for.
You were 10 before the trades, but it's a lot more legitimate after them.
And I deserved it after the trades too. I was putting Karpus at 10 in the power rankings the year he won the championship every single week. So you can do whatever you want in your power rankings.
Don't remind me.
So. Childs, any little takeaways from the power rankings? Do you agree, disagree with anything?
No, I never like being one, but I, can't argue it just with how my team is. I feel like I'm peaking too early, just like I did last year. John should not be 5. I think he should arguably be 7. But we'll see. I like Paul. I have Paul penciled in as my 4th playoff team at the moment.
Cool. Let me make sure. Yep. Keeper League kids matchup previews coming on next. So not week 5, week 6. So obviously Burner and I matchup of the week. No, I'm kidding. We're going to do.
It's probably Paul Greg.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm meaning Paul, Greg, and then Childs, and
I guess that's the second one we could talk about looking at
it's
them.
Certainly not me and Katz.
It's going to be Childs and John. So I'll take Childs and John. Hawk, do you want to take this one?
Why doesn't Childs take the Paul Greg matchup? Because he's not good participating in his own.
Fair. Childs.
Cool. All right, this is a fun one. I think we have a team that is maybe overachieving a little bit with Paul at 7-3, and then Greg, who has been bit by an injury bug and is was almost selling a week ago and has decided to pivot the other way. So let's jump in. It's a fun matchup. I think it's borderline a must win for Greg to like make up some ground on the kind of playoff spots here, even with it only being week 6. So let's see.
Paul is in the fourth position, right, at 7-3.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's a big difference. He's 2.5 games up.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 3 games up.
Yes. All right, Mahomes versus Tua. Why is Tua constantly projected under 20? I guess. All right, no, that's fair. That's fair. Looking at the past couple weeks, both of these quarterbacks get cake matchups.
Too cakey, maybe. Too cakey, maybe.
Yeah, too cakey, and like both running backs, like Mostert, Ahmed, and then Pacheco and McKinnon, all could eat this week. So I think both of these quarterbacks might underperform a little bit. I'm going to go Mahomes just because he's Mahomes and it's on prime time, and I never bet against Mahomes on prime time. Running back here, it's Greg.
He's probably got – yeah, and he might have Pierce instead of Javonte as well.
Yeah, I don't think this is close. I know Cook has been decent, but the issue with Cook is he has 1 red zone touch. Buffalo, I think, just is better in the pass game than they are running the ball right now, which is kind of historically how they've been. Roshan is interesting, but like he's coming off a concussion. Does he get 75% of the work, or is it more of like a 50-50 split with somebody like Foreman? So I think I know Paul's a little bit down bad at running back, but that's a tough start. So I think Pollard gets right against the Chargers and maybe outscores the rest of these 3 running backs combined. Going to receiver here. This is fun. You're maybe still wide receiver 1 on the year, Keenan Allen. Probably not off a bye. But at one point, Keenan Allen was wide receiver 1 on the year. He's down to 7 now, which tracks.
Tyreek Hill.
Versus Chase, who finally got back right with 3 touchdowns last week. Granted, against a Cardinals offense, or Cardinals defense that is not very good. And then we have Lamb versus Wilson, both high pedigree guys who came into the year very.
This is Cup. Yeah, this is going to be Cup.
Call Cup.
Oh, sorry.
Because he's going to start Evans over Wilson, I think.
Yep. All right.
That's what I did.
So we're going to call it Cup. Cup is back. Lamb has been struggling.
Cup gets Arizona, by the way.
Cup gets Arizona. I'm going to go Greg.
You just gave up what they did to Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Just Lamb and Dallas don't seem right, which I know is counterintuitive to what I just said about Pollard, but I think Pollard could get right and Dallas could get right and that they feed him more. So give me Greg with the Cup edition versus Chase and Lamb. Tight end, we get Andrews versus Waller. This should be closer than it is, but give me Andrews. He's been having a little bit of drops issues, but I know Waller was decent last week, but I don't think this is close from a talent perspective. And Waller might be catching passes from Tyrod Taylor.
I think he is. I think Jones got ruled out today, didn't he?
Oh, did he? I didn't see that. So
I want to say that. Yeah, you're right, Rob.
Oh, no. It was a really poorly worded tweet by Ari Murov or something. It like sounded like he was going to say they were all out, and then at the very end of the tweet, he goes, "At practice today," and I was like, "You just worded that absolutely terribly." I'll try and find the tweet, but
it says unlikely to play. The beat, like I'm looking at some beat articles now.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But he's not. He hasn't been ruled out though.
I'm going Paul here on tight end, and then Addison versus you say Evans over Wilson.
Yeah,
I would say Evans over Wilson. He's playing Philly, dude. He's gonna have a bad game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Zach Wilson was all you needed to say.
Yes, exactly. I am going Evans here, assuming he plays. I know Detroit defense has been good. I know Addison is slotting into a pseudo number 1 role, but I was watching some film on Addison on Twitter this week, and just his route running seems a little bit unpolished right now. Like he's had some splash plays, but he's not really getting open consistently. So give me Mr. 1000, Mike Evans, if he plays. I know he's a little bit banged up too. And yeah, weirdly, Miami defense. Dallas showed a little bit of cracks last week, and the Chargers are very good. So give me Miami defense.
And with all of that, I'm taking Paul. How about you guys?
Yeah, I'm with Paul as well.
For me, this one's not particularly close. I'm going Greg here. The matchups are too good. I don't even like. What are we talking about here?
I don't know.
And by the way, for Jordan Addison, it is really easy to look good when you're sharing the field with the best wide receiver in football.
Why? I said
because they're paying attention to him.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like he's had a couple of sorry, it's really easy to make splash plays.
Yeah, sure.
When you have the best wide receiver in the NFL on the same field, because they're going to pay all their attention to him, and yeah, you're going to get open down the field sometimes.
Paul, why aren't you starting Thielen, man? He's absolutely eating.
He might be like. By the way, if Roshan didn't practice today, he still hasn't cleared protocol. If he doesn't play, who the hell is he putting in at running back?
He's going to play with these concussion things. It didn't seem like it was like really, really bad, and because he's out, like I think we'll see tomorrow Roshan practice in a limited capacity and then full on Friday. If he doesn't practice at all tomorrow, I'll start to be concerned, but I'm not worried right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like wasn't that it was like a Thursday night game too, or is that just last week was Thursday?
It was.
That's
He's had
it was Thursday last week. Yes.
Yeah. So, and didn't he get hurt 2 weeks ago? No, he did get hurt.
No, he got hurt at the beginning of last week.
Okay, so though there's a chance he doesn't play. I was thinking it was the week before. So no, that's a good point.
I could see Paul. We'll save it for Guess That Fab, but I think Paul will probably
big money on Jeff Wilson, who he just dropped for no reason. All right, let's go to the next matchup.
It was like one of our like little. Well, Hawk, who do you have? Who'd you take?
Oh, I got Greg.
Okay, sorry.
Go
I got Greg by a mile, by the way. I don't think Paul gets median.
Patrick Taylor.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah. He was trying to do what we do of just like getting the Monday night player guy in case there's an injury, but he didn't realize he already had that guy and dropped him. All right, we said the next one was going to be
DC versus Sunshine. You got this one, Rob.
Yep. All right. So, Childs against Jan, best men at each other's weddings. Were you best man at his wedding?
I was.
Yeah, best men at each other's wedding. We have on DC side at quarterback Josh Allen against Jalen Hurts. Obviously, probably the two best fantasy quarterbacks going right now on a week-to-week basis. Both playing not very good New York teams. I'm going to go Allen here, but it is very, very close. I just think the Jets defense is a little bit better, but that may keep them in the game a little bit. But I think it's going to be Josh Allen against his old offensive coordinator going off. ETN against Eckler at running back, and Montgomery versus DeAndre Swift. This is a really strong matchup. Eckler's definitely going to play. DeAndre's been playing really well with ETN and Montgomery. Montgomery's been an absolute tear the last 2 weeks coming back from injury. And even before then, he was looking like he was going out for a big game on the game he got hurt on. So I am going to go
top 10 rest of the season.
Yeah, he's top 10 rest of the season. This is close again as well, but I'm going to lean Childs here. When it goes to wide receivers, Diggs and Ridley for Childs against A.J. Brown and Chris Olave.
Might be Ra.
Oh, true. Or you're saying for you?
Yeah, I don't know if he plays.
Gotcha. So Ra or Ridley versus Brown and Olave. I'm going to take Childs here again with Diggs and Ridley. He has, I believe, the first matchup that Ridley really went off week one. Wasn't that against? Yeah, that was against the Colts. So I think that's going to be another big game for him this week. If not, I forget who the Lions play, but I like Ridley or Raw there. Then tight end, Travis Kelce versus Jonnu Smith. Got to go with Jonnu here. I'm kidding. I'm going to go with Kelce against Denver. Denver's been so bad against tight ends historically. I'd be shocked if Kelce didn't score a touchdown this week. Pacheco against Myers. So Pacheco, and this is why Childs is debating between Raw and Ridley at wide receiver, because he knows he's playing Isaiah Pacheco against the god-awful Denver Broncos.
I don't think I can keep him out of my lineup.
The way he runs is phenomenal. He's so aggressive. He is going to destroy our linebackers and secondary. I like Jacoby Myers as well. I think he has a massive target share. He's like one of the highest target share number 2 guys in the league. But that being said, I'm still going Childs here. With defense, Buffalo, I'm sure John's probably not going to play Jets against Philly, but I'm taking Buffalo against the Giants. Childs should stomp this week, but I would not be surprised if John came away with the second median score of the week. Hawk, what do you think of these 2 teams?
I just agree on all points, Bob. That was really well done. Just a quick note, I don't love the Eagles this week that John has. I think this week's a big Devonta Smith week.
Interesting, because you're saying because Sauce is going to be on AJ.
Sauce is going to be on AJ.
Sauce
And
is getting sauced out there, though.
I mean, look, AJ is a phenomenal wide receiver and a great human being, and I wish him all.
Could use a young stud receiver like that in Tennessee.
He really could. Hey, Nuck had a good game. All right, it's not his fault that we suck. We are really bad. But we looked great against Cincinnati. All right, yeah. I mean, I got Greg. I got DC. Big win on DC.
I'm gonna take myself, but I think John is one of this is gonna come off poorly, but like one of few teams right now that can go pound for pound with me if his players hit. Like I think the firepower is there on his roster, so that like a lot of teams in our league, if I'm hitting, like I had a 70-point week, so I'm not always gonna hit. But if I'm hitting, I'm gonna outscore most teams in our league. But I think John's team has that in it too, where he could go off for like 120 or 130, especially when, tight end 1 in Atlanta, Jonnu Smith goes a little ham this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think part of that also has to do with John's matchups with the Jets for Hurts and even a little bit
Dallas too. Yeah.
This is just not a great matchup week for John, but on a week-to-week basis, he should be still competing.
And Olave, man, what do you guys think? Like just before, like purely player-wise, what's going on? Like I know he hurt his toe in pregame last week, but I'm shocked at his lack of production thus far.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I think a big part of his success last year just had to do with the fact that nobody was there. I also think Andy Dalton was a better quarterback than I think we were giving him credit for, and kind of held him up a lot and was willing to take some of those shots. Not that Carr isn't, but he's spreading it out to Michael Thomas, Juwan, Rashid, a little bit more, even Kamara getting involved in the passing game. I think part of it is Carr was hurt a few weeks ago, and I don't know. I think it was like his throwing shoulder, so I don't think he's fully healthy. So I'm not freaking out long-term about Olave, but it isn't great right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'll also say Michael Thomas looks like kind of healthy and solid, and the beauty of Olave, what he did really well last year.
Game.
I'm sorry?
Michael Thomas had 4 catches or more every game.
And I think he's consistently been over 50 yards a game as well. I think he's been under 65 or something like that. But Olave, what he did really well is he can beat the zone really, really well. And I think they're giving him a lot more man this year. And not that he's going to struggle heavily in man, but they're giving him man with a guy over the top on Olave most of the time to keep him contained. And they're letting the Saints take screen passes. They're letting him take those short ins and outs to Thomas. Like the way that defenses are playing them is to stop Olave first. Yeah. So, if you get that much attention, it's going to hurt.
Good points.
I like it.
All right. Rapid round now?
Yep. Moving on. Rapid round.
Yeah, let's pop through it.
What is
you're in scores.
Yeah, you got to go to league.
I don't know why it hopped out of there. Okay. We'll
We're
do.
still at. Can we focus on that for a sec?
Can we?
Yeah, let's go through this one. No, I'm just kidding. It feels good. All right, let's start with you, and we'll work our way down.
Are we looking or just picking?
Can't really get much further down than this, but we'll try.
I mean,
Burner. We don't really.
We'll just quick. We're not.
I got Burner. I got Burner. Like, he's got good matchups.
If Burner made better lineup decisions, he could be 7-3 right now.
Yeah, no, Burner could be a good team. Like, this is a good team. He's good. He's going to win. This week. Neither team reaches median.
What was that, Charles?
Why is Rashad White in his lineup?
I think he's just trying to prove to me that I was wrong. Because from before the summer, I was like, you can't keep Rashad White. And he was like, no, I can. It's okay. He can be a flex play. So he just keeps playing him. But, yeah, he shouldn't be playing Rashad White. Obviously, I'm taking Burner as well. Everyone's on board with Burner to beat me? Cool.
Go. I guess.
I forgot.
We'll round out with me. It's fine.
Yeah. Save the best for last,
Yeah, best for last. This is going to be a fucking wild one. Gutta versus Burner. I assume
Brandon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Brandon. I like Gutta. I mean, that's not shocking. Like, look at that side on Brandon. Like, it's just not. It's not
I don't mind.
I don't actually. I'm looking at some of these matchups. I might not mind Brandon this week.
But Gutta is gonna.
Gutta's gonna win. But Brandon could have a medium week.
Brandon's running backs at the turn on auto draft could not have gone worse.
Yeah.
Like Stevenson.
He's not even playing Najee, is he?
No, but I'm just saying.
But they're on bye week.
Miles Sanders, yeah, he's not much better. It's just kind of unfortunate. Get Justice Hill in there.
That was Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, it's gotta.
I'm taking Gutta Hawk.
Yeah, it's Gutta. It's very, very clear.
This is super boring picks this week because we're all picking the same teams. Maybe this will get interesting this week. I had close projection.
I actually kind of like his matchups. Fields getting
Mostert's back to 50 points with no H-hand.
Yeah, pretty much. There's going to be one game where Mixon goes for 50. It could be this week. Who knows?
Could be this week. Seattle, they've known to give up some points to running backs.
Yeah. Cousins is probably going to struggle a little bit. But again, I think it's a big Devonta week. So I'm playing Devonta, right? Like, I don't think it's a big Deebo Samuel week because Ayuk exists. Hawkinson should have a good game here. Like, Hawkinson should have a pretty elite game. Like, I might take Shanker. I'm going to take me because I have the utmost confidence in the blackouts. But, like, I can see people taking Shanker.
Childs? I want to hear what you have to say.
I think we're both doing the same thing then. I'm taking Cats.
I'm going to take Hawkberg. I just want to take the opposite of what you took.
Yeah, I actually do think Mostert goes ham this week, and Mixon finds the end zone, and we maybe get some Cousins to Hawkins and Love with Jefferson out. Like, I think Hawkinson gets the biggest boost of anybody in that offense with Jefferson out. So obviously Saquon is a big factor, but I think Shanker might pull off an upset this week.
Yeah, it is close. I am going to take Hawkberg, but I do think Shanker will be fighting for median. So fun. Moving on to the review of how we did last week. So the red is what we got wrong. It was pretty funny kind of listening back to it just now. I was listening to mine, what I was saying about our matchup, Hawkberg, and the very first thing I say was, I originally thought I was going to take Hawkberg, but I just changed it to myself. So I originally had the right call going Hawkberg, but then went with myself, unfortunately. Everyone had a good week. Everyone was above 500 between us, so we're improving. I'm still at 12-3. DC and Hawk tied at 7-8. It'll be fun to kind of keep track in this throughout the year, see who does well. But yeah, any little takeaways for reviews at all?
I'm glad I'm better at building a lineup than this.
I'm about the same.
And I'm really good at picking who's going to win besides making myself win. So Maybe I should spend more time on my own fantasy team than everyone else's. Moving on. Everyone's favorite segment. I gotta get a drop for this. Guess that fab.
Guess that fab.
The progress made on the soundboard for this podcast has been abysmal, and
I'd argue it's been incredible.
there's been zero progress.
I know.
Really bad. Can I go first?
Sure.
Of course.
I never get to go first.
You do get to go first, but
So I'm going to tell a little story for this one.
okay.
Does it involve Patrick Taylor?
No, last year Team 5 dropped Justin Fields October 5th. He was picked up for $42.
It was Manilow dropped him. Let's not give it to Paul, but Manilow dropped him last year. Yeah.
Team 5.
A Chicago Bears fan dropped.
The oldest Chicago Bears fan dropped 20th round pick Justin Fields last year, October 5th. October 9th. Team 5 again dropped their 20th round pick, October 5th. Someone is going to bid $42 on this. Someone is going to get Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson is going to be a superstar with like 2 RB1 weeks the rest of the year. That person is going to make the playoffs and lose in the finals. Not sure what it's going to be. It is not going to be me. My bid is only $20, but somebody is going to spend $42 on Jeff Wilson.
So you're doing 22, Hawk?
42.
Sorry, 42. What do you got, Hawk? Or Childs, what do you got?
I feel like I could have too much influence over this. I agree. He is going to go high. It depends on if a certain owner decides to block this player from other teams or not. Excuse me. With some extra fab. I'm going to go 45.
You're blocking Jeff Wilson from Burner's team? Is that what it is?
Gunna might need a running back. He's got some injuries. Yeah.
I have $15 put on him, so I'm going to put 15 down, and maybe I win. Probably not, though. Next one, I'm not. Deontay Foreman. We kind of touched on this a little bit with the Roshan discussion. I think someone will put in a little bit of money. I'm going to go $11 for Deontay Foreman, and it's not going to be a good bid.
Yeah.
$11? I think he's going to go for like 8.
Okay. Hawk?
I actually have him a little higher. I got him at 15, and I think the guy making the bid is Paul.
Fair. I think Paul is one of the ones that goes for Wilson.
Hawk, Logan.
Ooh, this is a good one because tight end is not great, and he's had a couple of decent weeks, and he looks healthy, which is something we haven't been able to say about Logan Thomas. Talent's never really been questioned. I am going to go $4 on Logan Thomas.
I'm going to go $7, and I wish I took more of him at BBM. There was a point in the summer where I was on him and talking to Rob about late Howell Thomas stacks, and I didn't commit to it enough. And purely just on like having more exposure to Thomas with how tight end is a wasteland, I wish I had more than like the 3% that I do. But $7.
Yeah, same. I was disappointed. I actually kind of went pretty heavy on Cole Turner for someone being undrafted, and I'm pretty sure he's like the tight end 3 there. So that not feeling great about my Commanders exposure there. I'm going to go $4 for Logan Thomas, though. I was actually mistaken. I did not bid $15 on Jeff Wilson. I did, however, bet $15 on my guy, Keontae Ingram. I know he didn't play last week because he was hurt. Childs got what's his name? Emmer Cario.
RB1 in Arizona, man.
I think
I don't know what his name is.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but I think Keontae actually has an actual chance of doing something. And yeah, I'm going to go Keontae for $15. That's my bid.
I mean, you just said you have a bid on him for $15. So I'm not going to go
higher. Someone's going lower.
I guess I can't go lower.
Maybe I don't even have a bid on him for $15. Maybe I just said I have a bid on him for $15.
On Keontae, I actually agree with you. I almost traded DeMercado today, which would have been just funny because it would have been like the second or third time I've traded somebody off the waivers this year.
Was this like a one-off, or was this supposed to be like a package deal?
Oh, somebody reached out asking about him specifically.
Did his name start with B and end in Brandon?
No. It was not Brandon.
Brandon's not making any trades with anybody.
Brandon doesn't even know the league exists.
Sorry, I'm going long-winded here, but I agree. I think Keontae's the guy there. So I'll just go 17 just because you said 15. I don't know. And 8% exposure to Ingram. I did go in on that take. So
nice. This is our time. I was very low on Connor, so I felt okay about that.
Yeah, I took him a lot.
I was kind of like, okay, this isn't the end of the world. Hawk.
I am gonna go with. I guess I'm gonna go 5th. I'm gonna go 14 because I think you're gonna drop your bid to 12 because I don't think anyone else is gonna bid on him. I mean, let's be honest. If you're a competitive guy in KLK and you're spending fab, you're not going after Keontae Ingram. Like, you should get him, Bob, and he is going to be a good play for you. And maybe he pulls in a couple of scoring weeks where he's a top 20 RB.
So I want to play. I want to rebut to that take of him not being a guy in KLK.
Okay.
He had pop last year at the end of the season, and like Connor can notably not stay healthy. So like, what are the odds that he takes this job and runs with it, and maybe, who knows, ends up as the RB1 in a Caleb Williams-led offense next season and is a 12th round keeper?
Maybe,
yeah, he's not gonna crack a competitive lineup right now, but I don't know. Gotta think ahead, man.
Look, anything is possible. I'm not saying he's not, but if I'm going to invest $72 like Jaleel McLaughlin for no fucking reason, Jesus, that was like so bad.
He looks all right.
He's the running back one in Denver.
He looks great. I love Jaleel. I drafted Jaleel because I love the hype about him. It's a feel-good story. He's not the RB1 in Denver long-term.
My point is Keontae Ingram should be going for more than somebody like Deontay Foreman, and I'm not sure he will.
I don't disagree with you on that, actually. He should be going for more than Foreman.
I think he will.
No one should be putting a bid in on Foreman.
Bob's up his bid to 25 now.
I'm over here. Okay. Going to 17 now.
Kyle's making sure he wins. Guess that fab. Let's move to KC.
Oh, if you don't think I might like bid what I'm offering here. Oh.
Me and Giles are going to have a bidding war, I think. A silent bidding war for Keontae Ingram tonight. every hour, we're just going to keep on going up. It's a silent
Keontae Ingram goes for like $54.
Hey, I have $101. You can't match that.
I actually heard this really quick, this story. There was a Dynasty Best Ball League that someone was in. I saw this story on Twitter. And Puka wasn't on a team because there's only like certain windows you can pick up guys during the season, and someone who had spent all their fab already traded Terry McLaurin for $100 of fab, so they had $101. And then at 2:50 a.m., someone else made 3 separate trades, like of just like very low things, like a second round pick and a couple other things to get like over that and bid on it. And then the other person who traded Terry away just quit the league afterwards. So I thought that was a pretty funny story. But anyway, we're going to keep. Go ahead.
Oh, KCD, I got I don't know, $6.
They played Denver, by the way. Childs, what do you got?
But they played Denver on a short week, and like I don't know.
And they played Denver in 2 more weeks as well.
$4. I don't know.
I'm going to go $10. I think someone's going to really like him. Might be me. Las Vegas. I just lost. I'm just like, fuck it. Fab doesn't mean anything anymore. The Raiders, and they play the Patriots. Nice. So Josh McDaniels coming back. I bet the Patriots are going to win this game. There's no way Bill Belichick is going to let McDaniels come. I guess it's in Vegas, but he's not going to play Bill Belichick, and Bill's not going to win. So I think that's $2 for Las Vegas defense.
I'm making a statement as commissioner. If anybody bids a single dollar on Las Vegas defense, your lineup is getting locked for 2 weeks. $0.
I wasn't going to before, but I am bidding $1 on the Las Vegas.
Let's see how this goes.
So is your go ahead, try to lock my lineup, see what happens. Take away my commissioner power.
My plan is working. Then you're going to spend fab on Las Vegas defense.
I am not actually going to spend fab on the defense. Yeah, I mean this is.
What's your guess then, Hawk?
Do we know who's playing quarterback for the Patriots this week? Did Zappy get named the starter?
They confirmed it today. It's Mac.
Yeah.
It's Mac?
Yeah.
Mac Jones gets pulled again after throwing 2 more pick sixes. Raiders.
Well, he's only getting pulled because you're getting like blown the fuck out. It's not because he's like playing bad. He's like said that. He's like there's no point in keeping him in there when we already lost the game. Like that's why he's being benched. If he puts
this
Bailey
game
Zappi,
is going to end.
Bailey Zappi's going to do worse than Mac Jones if Bailey Zappi gets a start.
Yeah. This game is going to end on Jacoby Myers trying to throw a lateral back on a tie game, and he's going to be picked off by Patriots defensive end and run to the house.
No one, $0 on the Vegas thing.
And then that defensive end is going to develop CTE over the offseason and get run out of the league.
There was a great tweet that I saw that
was
said that Jacoby had already signed his contract with Las Vegas when he made the throw last year in that game.
Here's the thing, man. Like looking at the Patriots, we don't need to go too deep into the Patriots and Raiders, but like, why did they let Jacoby leave? He's a good receiver and he wasn't going to be expensive. Like,
Bill's just lost it. He's still playing this old age kind of football. You know what? Yeah, this is Bill. It's Jover. It's Jover for Bill.
They gave Juju 30 M's.
And they paid Devontae Parker a bunch of money too. And like he's not doing anything this year. Like they just continue to just like, all right, we made a really bad decision. Now
all I'm hearing is they're gonna need Tyquan Thornton in a couple weeks and my 14 or 12% best ball shares won't be dead.
9.2 for me, but it's only because I have 12.6 Devontae Parker and 14.3% Ramondre Stevenson, who was my guy.
I am just glad because I remember you hyping Ramondre up, and I think at one point you were like 25% exposure, and I literally texted you, stop drafting Ramondre.
Which I did. I did listen about that.
Yeah.
Man,
that's
that is
great.
Not great.
So
the only guy
we're done with
there, one share of Hunter Henry.
We're done with football takes today. Remember when everyone was like, "Oh, Hunter Henry's gonna be tight end 1 after the first week this year?" And I was like, "Okay, we haven't really heard much from him."
We're not going to talk about my Gesicki exposure either.
Do you guys want to do a hoops draft real quick, or do you guys have to run? It doesn't matter.
I have nowhere to go.
All right. Hawk?
I have not been texted.
He's not been summoned yet. So let's hop in. Hawk, if you want to join.
I'll join. I'm in. I'm on my UD account right now with my
I'm hopping in.
With my $59 of winnings this week.
Ooh, from weekly winners or pick 'em?
$20 from weekly winners.
Nice.
I had 2 teams cash, and then I won a pick 'em. I forget what I think I put like $3 down to win something, or $4 down. I don't know what the fuck.
How many weekly winners do you have?
I'm hopping in.
I only have a few.
How many weekly winners do you have? I only have 16.
I have 12. I have 12 weekly winners.
My teams are
it's waiting for 10 people, so this might actually be a while if we want to.
Hold on, let me get in here then.
Well, I think you got a little bit of time.
Well, I'm just getting in. All right.
So
it's a 30 seconds.
What we'll do.
I have an exercise we can do.
Oh, now we're up to 7 people. Okay, cool. What were you going to do, Child? What were you going to say?
Pull up your favorite third place team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Because I have 16 third place teams right now.
Loser, I have 17.
You have 149 drafts. I only have 118.
Fair.
Very fair. Okay, so waiting for 4. So this actually filled pretty quickly. I wonder if there's like someone else streaming right now, and that's what happened. But looking, I'll take a quick drafts active. Nope, completed. Nope, live. There we go. Best ball, NFL. All right, so we said best third place team?
Favorite.
Okay, favorite third place team. I have stars next to mine. So, okay, that one's got 2 stars. That one also, but that has Anthony Richardson, so I'm not going to that team. No. Do you have yours up, Childs?
I don't. I'm looking right now.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
I think I can give you at least. Let me see.
Oh, so I have a 3-star one here. So let me go and share this. So we're still waiting on one more Poison. Where is his? Okay. Now, can I? Oh no, I'll just share. Oh no, I have to share my screen. This is great airtime, by the way.
Yeah, I was saying great. I'm just like looking through my teams.
So this is my squad, and I want to say I drafted this. Am I mistaken? This was in April. I drafted this team, so not the first day, but I think that Tuesday after. I may have even done this one on stream. So this team has a Deshaun Tua double, with Tua is the only one that's coming through at quarterback so far, which has been fine. But Jahmyr Gibbs, Devin Achane, Tyler Algier, Roshan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, and Jerome Ford at running back. A little bit light. The Jahmyr Gibbs not playing well, that definitely doesn't help. And Devon Achane getting hurt. Yeah, this team probably ain't great right now, to be completely honest. I made those stars a few weeks ago, but I do like this team. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. So you're getting a rare Tua double with a Watson double on top of it. So if the Falcons, or not the Falcons, it's a triple actually for the Browns. If it picks up, this could be a really solid team. But yeah, I got a few teams in third place. Charles, did you find yours? Or Hawk, did you have yours up?
I have one. I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite, but I think it's one that'd be fun to look at.
Yeah, let me throw you
my screen real quick.
Yep. And Hawk, you got one?
I got one in mind. I'm just looking through a few more to see if there's anyone else I really like.
There are a few I like, but just looking at these ones, just looking quickly, this is really fun. Just with it's a bully QB and bully tight end build that has legs at both running back and receiver, which I think is kind of unique. I'm only 2 points out of advancing, and I have Hurts and Lawrence, which obviously Hurts is doing more right now. But then you look at the running back room, Pollard, who should hopefully get going, Etienne, who's absolutely eating, Algier, who was a non-zero in week 1 and might be able to get something down the road. Mostert about to absolutely eat, and our guy Chianti, who is about to feast for the next month.
I have a fun team with Raheem Blackshear on it as well, randomly enough.
And then looking at wide receiver, where I definitely think I'm light, but now I get cut back. So I think I have to hope for a Sutton trade here or DJ Chark to get going to really have this hit from a wide receiver perspective. But what helps balance out the weakness that is the fact that I do have 2 tight ends that can hopefully get going here. It's just a fun team as far as stacks and bringbacks and things like that, where I think if this team can get to the playoffs, it's set up well to compete if those 2 teams get hot at the right time.
Yeah. No, I think this is a really fun team. Hawk, do you got yours up or no?
I got mine up, yes.
Cool. Let me find you. Did you present your screen?
Here. No, I didn't. Let me do that.
We're still waiting on one more, by the way, so the draft hasn't even started yet. So hopefully someone can hop in soon. Child,
I
you want
also
to hop
have-
in and get fired from your company?
No, I'm good. I have both a Hertz double stack and a Tua double stack in third place as well, which are both fun too.
All right.
Wow.
So
Nice.
Yeah.
here you can see this squad. Hertz, Carr at quarterback. I kind of like the running backs because they've been less than performative. Yeah, you gotta have some Cam Akers love, but McKinnon can get pop weeks, Ford can get pop weeks, maybe Foreman can step up if he gets a chance in Chicago with Khalil out.
It's coming now.
So I kind of like it. Chase clearly looks good. Ayuk is good. I got Nico here. Michael Thomas has been solid. And then hopefully, get some pop weeks from a Wilson, a Bateman. And then tight end, I kind of like both these guys. So, yeah.
I like it. It's a fun team.
It's a good squad.
And our draft just started. There are a ton of red badges in here. I have not seen this many red badges in quite a while in an NBA draft.
Wow.
So
they're all right on my turn. Phenomenal.
Yeah. They're right in front of you. Sharing screen. Let's do.
I love that I don't have a flag yet. How much money do you have to spend to get a flag?
Oh, this Philly double stack team. Sorry, I just.
I think it's a certain amount of drafts.
A certain amount of winnings.
Yeah,
haven't had that yet. Promise.
Yeah. I didn't.
I didn't really play last year. I think I had maybe 20 or 30 best.
I'm surprised you don't have a black and white badge yet.
Yeah, I did. I think close.
That's surprising to me.
I've done.
I bet the next update.
Draft. I want to
if they give
as long as possible. If I could opt out of a flag, I would. I don't want a flag.
No, I can't do that.
You can't. But I'm surprised because I thought it was like $2,500, which I'm sure you've put into drafts at this point.
So Hawk is on the clock.
Easily. I'm way over that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've just put way much.
And this is a weird spot in the draft.
This is a weird spot. I don't like this spot. I'm gonna go.
I think there's a. No, I don't like Edwards. I think that's really bad pick. I would go SGA or Davis or someone else.
All right, I'll go SGA.
I like
SGA.
Yeah, I think so. Like, what am I sharing? Okay, so
I just think there's another step in Edwards. I think he could really be a stat stuffer this year.
The issue is he's not going to have the ball enough as a guard to do that. Whereas, like, you need to be getting assists and a large usage rate if you're a guard in this format because you're competing with SGA and Halliburton who are getting those counting stats. Edwards is a phenomenal player. Like, I think he's probably just as good of a basketball player as some of these other guys in front of him. But in this scoring system with guards the way they are, I don't think he's worth it. I have him
100% agree
at 7, but I have him basically not in the first round. So I'm basically not taking him anymore. So AD is my guy. I'm just hammering. His points per minute is phenomenal. If he can actually stay healthy for 50 games, or 45 games. Huh?
Is that Steph's ADP 9? Sorry.
He's 12, yeah. So he's going 12 typically at that turn, which, again, I'm just not taking guards really that early, like unless they have elite potential, which Tyrese does. And honestly, I may even take Dame over Curry just because Dame's top output for guard, you just can't really match that besides Luka. So, what I've been doing a lot, especially from this side of the board, is making sure that I have 4 wings by the end of the 4th round. So I'm probably going to go, I'm guessing it'll be one of these 3. Pascal, he's a guy that did really well last year. So just looking at his ranks, putting up almost 1,900 minutes and 2,400 fantasy points is really solid. The issue is Nick Nurse is not there anymore. And the rotations were very kind of narrowed. And I want to say Pascal averaged the most minutes per game. And I think that's going to go down this year with Scotty playing more. OG will get involved. I'm forgetting who their head coach is now, but I don't think that they're going to be passing.
That's why I was going to ask.
like, are you worried about Scotty eating into his production and having the ball in his hands more as they look to lean into him as like a potential star down the road?
100%. Julius Randle is actually a guy I'm probably liking over Pascal. Like if it gets to that point where it's just them two, like I'll take a couple shares of Pascal, but Julius Randle was a phenomenal points per minute fantasy guy last year too. So I'm fine going guard here, and then I'll go wing coming back. I feel very confident in things that I'll be looking at. If not, we'll play it by ear from there. But Hawk, what are you thinking coming up here? You got a few wings that are kind of coming in the queue. Any one stick out to you?
Oh, I would love Randall if he dropped here. That would be great.
Yeah.
If not, I'm probably going to go Paolo. I know it's a little bit of a reach, but I really like him this year to take that step. Like I thought, he was a little under, 1936 in 1885 minutes. So it looks like I'm going to get Randall. So it's not even a discussion.
Yeah,
wow, man, I don't. This board is fascinating to me. Sorry, I'm just like I like the Randall pick, but like, why are Booker and Steph like? I mean, even Trey. No, I guess Trey stat stuff, but like Donovan Mitchell, 21. Why are all these guys going so high?
I don't know. Probably it's the star power. It's like their top outputs are going to be up there. And they do that. I mean, the thing is though that like they save it for, Donovan Mitchell will throw that up at Christmas. They'll do that in the playoffs. Like, I don't know. I'll take Jamal Murray at way later.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like just guys that I don't know. Maybe I'm devaluing scoring the ball a little bit, but like I just think there's so much value in guys like a Halliburton or a Ball who are just they don't need to score 30 points for them to put up a big night for you.
That's fair.
Yeah, this sort of Mitchell Fox tier, I'm rarely going to have. Yeah, who are you looking at?
I would love to get Bam right here. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, Bam is fun. I like taking the wings still. I guess I do have
Paul George over Jimmy.
Is Bam going ahead of Jimmy?
They're 33.4. No, Bam is going ahead of Jimmy. That is something I am a little bit weary of, I think, especially just because of how strong wings are. I think you lucked out here. I'd take one of these wings. The Jimmy.
I think I'm going to go Paul George over Jimmy just because I don't think Jimmy's going to play more than 60 games. And I think Paul George
he also defers a lot in the regular season. So
he comes to play during the playoffs where he's spectacular. Jimmy's really good, obviously.
Top 5 playoff performer of his generation.
Yeah. He's the Reggie Miller of this generation. Is the way I view him. Like he is a guy who brings his best fucking shit in April and May and June. Like you're going to get him at his best.
He's like the opposite of James Harden.
So I'm going one of these guys. I'm going Jimmy or DeRozan, and I'm hoping that one of the other wings.
100%.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
DeRozan.
So I'll take DeRozan.
Even Kawhi, like the other half of that round. Like I'd have DeRozan over Scotty Barnes potentially.
I think people are expecting the jump from Scotty and probably a decrease in DeRozan because DeRozan, yes, he has been pretty solid. Can I not look at his stats? 1 sec. DeRozan, I can't pull up his stats anymore after I selected him, but he was solid last year. He gets a lot of counting stats. He gets the ball in his hands, but I don't know if it's worth it enough.
Why not BI there, Bob?
Because I think he would fall, and I didn't think DeRozan would fall just because of AD.
Okay.
But, honestly, the difference between Kawhi, BI, and DeRozan for me is negligible. It's just I want to try and get
the best of those three from a fantasy perspective at least.
And especially with how much Zion I'm drafting, I definitely need to invest in the opposite of if that doesn't go well, what does go well. And that is going to be Brandon Ingram having another solid year, hopefully even a better year. So I am going to pick BI. Yeah, I'm going to pick BI over Kawhi here, partly because I think I have a little bit of Kawhi already, but yeah, if this goes wing and I'm stuck with Jamal Murray, I'm not going to hate it, but I'm going to be in a really tough spot at wing that I don't like being in. I do really like Jamal Murray. God, this guy's going to take Kawhi, isn't he?
Actually, don't touch Jovic. He hurt his knee.
Did he?
Yeah.
And didn't JJ play okay last night? I feel like he was in at the end of the game.
He looked really good, actually. He had some there was one play that stuck out where his footwork was just like, it was like I don't know, he kind of dropped into the post, up fake, step through, up and under, like off of like a fake spin. It was nasty.
Oh, there you go. Get your Kawhi.
And was he even playing a little bit of point guard, initiating the offense?
Yes.
I want to say I saw him getting the ball up. So that's one thing I really
ball handling a little bit.
If you can find, let me double check, make sure he's a wing. I believe he's a wing in this format. Yeah, if you can find wings that are actually getting ball handling duties, I think that's a major advantage in this kind of format, because then you're going to start getting that usage rate and the assist numbers up as well. So, Hawk, you're on deck. You already got your two wings. What guard or big are you looking at here?
So I know you gave me shit about this last draft, but I was going to say I like Jordan Poole.
No, and I'm warming up to him a little bit. He's high on my list. I still think I have DeJounte over him. I would take DeJounte. DeJounte's put up just massive counting stats for.
I think that's where I'm going to go. And if anything happens to Trae Young, he's just going to be a fucking animal.
Yeah,
so, that's an easy
I really like that.
I also I do like Levine here, and I do like Darius Garland as well.
Yeah, I like Garland a lot. I still have Harden over him just because if Harden does wind up playing, he is such a usage monster that he just dominates in these kind of formats, especially in the fourth round. I really don't mind that. Are you going to look at big here, though? Or are you hoping Vooch or Sengun fall to you?
Yeah, I would love Sengun here. If Sengun's off the board and I don't like any of the guards, I mean, I could see myself going Ayton. I really like Ayton this year. He's going to be the guy. I think he's going to get a lot of usage. They're going to give him a lot of minutes.
You would go Ayton over Chet?
I would go Ayton over Chet. I don't trust anyone who's a big man like that with foot problems. I just don't trust it. I'm going to fade Chet hard.
The upside is just so
the upside's ridiculous. I'm not going to like, and he might bite me in the butt.
He looked good.
He looked very good.
The upside might bite me in the butt, but I don't think he'd stay healthy.
Fair. You guys are gonna yell at me or hit me through the screen. Can somebody justify the 30-point difference in ADP for Jordan Poole and Tyler Hero?
Yeah.
We don't
Tyler
know.
Hero's the fourth best player on his team.
Well, I just think Tyler Hero's in an uncertain situation where we still don't know if there is another move out there. But I am kind of – and it's – I think to Hawk's point, Jordan Poole's usage is just going to be through the roof. Like, he may have 12 turnovers a game. I think I heard that joke on a podcast today. But he is going to have, like, 20 shot attempts a game. It'll be, like, potential James Harden type usage. So if he's – somewhat as good as we think he is, he might be able to pay that off, but
he's not good.
The reason why I don't like Poole there is because of, to your point, the other guards that you can get 2-3 rounds later.
It's wild to me that he's going ahead of somebody like Josh Giddey, for instance, like who I know his usage isn't as high, but like he stuffs the stat sheet even next to SGA. He leads that second unit, and if something happens to SGA, he's going to be like a top 10 fantasy player.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I think one of the guys that – okay, so I really like Sengun here, but I'm going to take Jeremy just because I know this guy in the inside wants a wing. I really like Jeremy Grant. If Sengun falls to me, that would be phenomenal, but if not, I don't mind some of these guards coming up with Scoot or Anthony Simons or Drew. So I got some guys I can work with here, but
I think typically Simons is sneaky this late.
I've heard there's just so much uncertainty in Portland of like what this is going to be because we haven't really seen a non-Dame team. And when we did, I think a lot of guys were hurt. I don't think Simons was playing at the end of last year too, when Sharp was coming off. So Scoot is obviously going to have a big role. I want to watch more preseason games. I just feel like Henderson is going to be the one with the ball in his hands, and he's going to have that usage. I think that Simons may underperform a little bit here just because he's not getting the assists. And there's been talks that he might get moved as well this offseason as they're doing their rebuild. I think Scoot and Shaden are the wings that they want there, and I think they're going to try and build around that. And Jeremy could get moved as well, but yeah.
So this comes with a caveat, but I just stat mused Simon's stats with Damian Lillard in his career.
Yes.
25-3 in 55 games.
What's can you do that with Shaden? It's gonna be less games, but
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna be up soon.
14-3-2.
Okay, not great. Small samples. How many games is that?
22.
A dozen?
55.
Yeah,
so obviously a much smaller sample. But I just Simons is still young. Like I don't know that they completely would want to move on from him.
Yeah, I really like Nick Claxton. He got taken.
I think this guy Ulyss is auto drafting.
Oh, and that's why he's not taking any wings.
Well, it just if you look at it, he's taking the top guy on the board every single time.
He's just showing his no badge.
I am hesitating here. I like OG, especially with the Miles Bridges concerns that just popped up today. I am going to take OG. And I'll probably be done at wing now. I like building kind of hyper fragile wing teams like this just because I think when we're thinking about what that 99th percentile outcome is for that top of the regular season prize, I just don't think the depth at wing is going to get you there the same way that it can at big or at guard. Now, if there's a potential, Markkanen kind of riser from last year who's going in the 8th or 9th round and then wound up being a 2nd, 3rd round value, I'll kind of eat my own words there. But I think looking at some of these other wings coming up, I'm not really feeling too optimistic about it. But Hawk, you're on deck. What are you thinking about?
I'm gonna take Keldon there.
Let's go. I love it.
I just think you look at his numbers last year. He wasn't right, and when he is right, like the guy is a 40% 3-point shooter that's about to have a big motherfucker clogging that paint that knows how to play the game. Like
I was
Keldon's gonna have a good year.
Chomping at the bit to give Bob crap for taking OG over Keldon. Like, why are you taking a guy who's potentially the 3rd option at wing?
Because OG
versus Keldon, who could be the number 1 option.
Well, I think it's because OG could get traded and be the number 1 option somewhere. And I think that's likely to happen before the All-Star break. Maybe I don't really reap the rewards from that. But I'm basically not taking Keldon Johnson. He's basically off my board.
Why?
I don't think his fantasy points per minute were very strong. You have Victor Wembanyama coming in there. Zach Collins is going to be healthy this year, so he's taking away the rebounds or kind of going away from Keldon. And it looks like Vassell and Sokan are going to be the ones doing ball handling duties. So I really like Keldon as a player, but I don't know if he has that ceiling that I'm looking for when I'm picking in the 6th, 7th round. Like, give me Tyler Hero over him. I was taking Miles Bridges over him just because of how well Bridges did on a points per minute basis a few years ago. But yeah.
He's cooked. Don't touch him.
Who? Bridges?
Yeah.
Why do we feel that?
He has an arrest warrant out for him today.
Oh, sure.
Wait,
Yeah.
So again?
Yeah. So so there was nothing new that happened evidence-wise. It was just like, and there was no physical interaction. It was just like, I think he broke like the restraining order or something, getting too close to them, to the people, to the person. I don't know. Yeah, he's off my board right now. But I was, before this news today broke, I was taking him a lot.
So Bob,
over him.
Real quick, what are your thoughts on Keegan Murray here? Because I kind of like it. maybe get that fourth wing in. I feel like there's better value at guard.
He's my
and
top
big later
guy.
on.
I think, if you can get Keegan or Cam here, I think I'd probably take the swing on Keegan.
I'm on the clock, so I'm gonna get Keegan.
Yeah, I think Keegan is fine. I do like this next tier of guards coming up as well.
I was going to ask about Russ.
To your point though, the wing position like really starts to drop off.
Really
like,
thins after this. Like after this Toby Porter Gordon thing, it gets really
especially. But even them, it's like they don't have a ceiling of like, oh yeah, that was the wing 2 that you needed on that 75K team. Like I just don't see the upside. Like they're gonna scoot in a couple times, but as a 7th, 8th round pick, I don't like it. So I'm gonna go Jalen Williams here. I think that he has. We were talking about.
Hurt. I don't know
we
why.
were talking about Giddey taking over in Oklahoma City. I think Jalen Williams played phenomenally. I think he did some of that not next to SGA, but there's a lot of people in NBA streets I've listened to some podcasts that think Jalen Williams could be an all-star in a few years. So I don't know if I believe that.
Fun, man.
But that team's going to be super fun, and I'm hoping I can get Devin Vassell coming around. That's my next highest guard. I would be very, very thrilled with that start, although I wouldn't mind Reeves or Dinwiddie here. But I'm basically like – definitely going guard unless this auto drafter just keeps on.
Where are you guys on Reeves? Like not fantasy wise, just as a player.
As a player, I think he's fine. Fantasy wise, I'm concerned on what kind of usage you're getting playing next to LeBron, even if you are playing 30, 40 minutes a game. So I don't love him in this format, especially in this area. Like give me Vassell all day. Give me Jalen Williams. Give me even Rozier over him. Well, Jaden Ivey's he's not starting right now, so that's a little bit concerning. Yeah, part of it it's kind of hard to understand the tea leaves of what's going on there, but it seems like Azur Thompson, who's one of the wings up here, he's my highest rated wing available. Devin Vassell just went. I think that Azur is going to be playing a lot, and who did they play ahead of Jaden at the 2 or someone random, but I think Bogey is going to be in the starting lineup and they're going to have Bogdanovich and
still there.
Yeah. And Azur in the starting lineup. And I think part of it is they want to stagger Ivy and Cunningham.
Yeah.
I think
so is that
the reason?
Maybe a plus for Ivy because that means when he's on the court,
he's the guy.
He's the guy.
I don't. Yes, that's probably true. And don't get me wrong, he's still in this area, but I haven't been taking a ton of Austin Reeves, so I will take him here. But I don't love the pick. No, it's fine. It's very valid. I have Dinwiddie close to ranked at the same place as him, but this is the if LeBron kind of gets hurt and it's an AD and Reeves team, I think that could actually be kind of fun with them too, is maybe the 1-2 options. But if LeBron's healthy, Reeves shouldn't be in my lineup any week. So that sucks that Azur didn't get to you there, Hawk. No, you didn't really need a win.
I didn't. I'm actually going to take Jaden Ivey here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I like him.
Let's go. I'm liking. I want to keep tabs on this draft, even though I can't.
You can have my login anytime you want, DC.
Don't say that too loud.
I will not be logging into your account.
Lawyers of Splash Sports, please note that Childs will not be doing that.
Please note that Childs will not actually log in.
I got
this has been a public service. So I think I need a big here because I like the bigs in this area. I would love it if I don't think Podol will be on the board or however you pronounce that, but I think Wendell Carter will be there, and I really like him this year if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, and I like Valanciunas as well. I think he is one of those insurance guys. If Zion doesn't play, he'll get a big boost. So I got him pretty high up. But you're right, I do have Pirtle over him as Pirtle goes. So some of these guards that are going off the boards, that's a little bit higher than where I've been taking him. He's usually kind of in the early 100s. I wouldn't have.
He's getting some Twitter hype right now.
Yeah, but he's starting. And like when he's playing okay, if he can get you 10 to 12 points in a game, he'll find the other counting stats to make him fantasy relevant. So I think Simmons is a great pick.
I don't disagree. I think he could be a guy
Oh, yeah,
who's
no, I was
like a
agreeing with
marketing,
you.
you
Yeah.
know,
As one of those risers, sure.
that jumps up boards at the end of the season just
Like
because
we've seen him have fantastic points per minute output before in fantasy. So I know it's been weird it's been 2 years. I can't even keep track anymore. But at least the last year and a half, it's been pretty weird. But yeah. So Hawk, what are you doing here?
I'm going to end the run on Clay and take Clay here. I don't know if it's a bad move, but
what about
the only other guy I'm thinking is Aiden Sharp.
Yeah, I'm debating between Sharp and another guard. Thompson I did have at the top of my board just based on ADP. And I do think Clay has a better year this year. I think he did have a little bit of a down year, partly coming off of the injury from the year before and just kind of slowly getting into it. But without Poole, I think his usage maybe goes up a little bit more. We'll see how much Kuminga eats into that. But I'm hoping that Mathurin makes it to me. If not, I'm probably just going to go Trey Jones here. There are a couple other. Maybe I'll take Duren actually. I'm going to take Mathurin and hope that Duren will fall. Nurkic is also one of the bigs on the board who I just don't think you're just not getting a high ceiling output with the usage that those other players in Phoenix are going to be getting. Whereas Duren actually looked pretty promising. Looks like he's got the starting 5 job locked down. But yeah, some of these other guys I like. Amen Thompson is a guy I've been taking a bunch. Trey Jones is a guy I've been taking a bunch. I really like San Antonio. Kind of in the same vein as Oklahoma City. Probably it's like what Oklahoma City will be like in a year or two is kind of what San Antonio is. No.
Vice versa.
Yeah, other way around. But I think that that San Antonio could be where Oklahoma City is right now in 2 years. So let's see what happens with Duren. But yeah, what's your take on Marcus Smart? I don't even have him in my available guards right now that I would even consider.
I don't think Desmond Bane is going to be the guy during the suspension, and Tyus Jones should be. Tyus Jones is still there, yeah.
No, Tyus Jones is in Washington. Backing up your boy Jordan Poole. Maybe even starting next to him.
But yeah, even so, Smart is going to be there. But Smart's never been a stat stuffer. Maybe he scores 12, 15 points a game. He has a couple steals. It's just not going to be
better basketball player.
A much better basketball player than fantasy player. He's a phenomenal basketball player. Absolutely a guy I'd want on my team in any circumstance if I was an NBA GM.
So I'm hoping this guy auto picks PJ Washington.
How do we feel about Obi? I kind of love him at a 120 ADP, like a guy who's
he's not looking good.
Is he not?
Yeah,
I've not seen.
He's not looking great, but he has been starting though, which is hey, if he's getting those wing minutes there, maybe if someone gets hurt, you could kind of see him doing something. I was taking him a little bit.
I think you need a big.
I do need a big, but I don't really love anybody on the board. I'll take someone on the way back. Maybe I'll grab I really don't like this board for bigs.
Where's Gafford going?
Gafford's at 126. I'd consider on the way back. I think I'm going to take D'Angelo Russell here.
Yeah, him or I like Trey Jones over him. I think Trey Jones could be really, really solid in San Antonio with all the big guys there.
I don't know. I like D'Angelo. I'm going to take D'Angelo.
Yep. No, and that's fine. I took Austin Reeves, so I don't have anything to say. I think they're both similar types of players. It's probably nicer you can get Russell 2 rounds later. I like Okongwu and Gafford a lot. I probably would have taken them because if you don't get one of them,
I would have taken Gafford there.
But you look over there. Only Jim Goober everyone else has 3 bigs,
and he's got. That's a good point
on bigs. These are red flag players.
Base Frank going.
I can see Goober taking them both.
Russell was what, your 5th guard?
Russell's my 5th guard. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
because I think like the difference between Russell and then this group of Trey Jones, Clarkson, Chris Paul, and Amen Thompson, I don't think is that big. Whereas there goes Okongwu, and now if you don't get Gafford,
it was Goober. So if he takes another big here, I think that's the only way that I don't see Gafford going. But it's possible. Let's see what he does right here. He's the only guy I'd really be like, oh,
Scroll
he's
down,
gonna
Bob.
take him. And he went Harry Barnes. That's a bad pick.
Yeah, I don't love Barnes in this format. The wings that don't have
pretty
usage
good.
are just not.
I think one of these guys is going to take Clarkson, and the other one just went
you should get
Bogdanovich.
Gafford.
I should get Gafford here. This guy should take Jordan Clarkson right
now. I would love Chris Paul. I guess there's some talks about.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. There's some talks about Clarkson maybe not playing a ton. I definitely need to go guard here, though. If Chris Paul isn't available, so the other top guys on my board, Markelle Fultz, Quickly, Schroeder, and Trent. I already have little Toronto. So the Toronto situation is interesting because obviously one of those two guys are going to be starting and probably playing a bunch, replacing the Van Fleet minutes. So there goes Chris Paul.
What about Sexton? What's his role?
Oh, yeah. So he's going a little bit later. But there's just a weird logjam at point guard there because they also drafted a guy I really like in Keontae Ingram. So I just don't know how I really feel.
Oh, Keontae George. Yeah, he's a beast.
Sorry,
Keontae Ingram.
Keontae Ingram.
That reminded me of running back for the Cardinals.
I'm going to go Schroeder here. I probably could have pushed him and maybe taken Markelle Fultz instead, but I think he could wind up starting, whereas the Orlando backcourt is just a complete mess. I'm very high on some of the late guys there, like Anthony Black, and then who's the other guy you're giving me shit for, Childs? Not Jalen Suggs, the other point guard that they have.
Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony.
Pretty sure he's on the outs there. But
that could be. Yeah, that's the thing. It could be a plus. So, okay, so those guys are gone. So I'm probably going to take Steven Adams here. He had a very solid season last year, even with playing next to Triple J. And people forget he kind of got hurt, but his points per minute is phenomenal. He just gets so many goddamn rebounds and is playing a lot. So Bobby Portis I like, but I think that with Dame, I'm a little bit worried about the usage of the bigs there. I think that Robin Lopez and Bobby Portis probably take the biggest hits because they're just not going to be getting a lot of those secondary looks that they were in that free-flowing offense. I still think Middleton is fine, but I am hoping that I can get Steven Adams here. Cool. One Adams. So, all right, we're coming up to you, Hawk. What are you thinking here? We're both at very similar types of builds. I'm at a 5. I can't see what I'm at right now. I'm at a 5.43. You were at a 5.42.
Yeah, I'm going to take Zach Collins if he's on the board.
I like Collins a lot. Him and Mitch are the two bigs here that I like in this range.
So I'm going to take
Zach. I like Zach over him, especially with the Wemby contingency play. We all love Wemby, but we don't know how he can stay healthy or if they're really going to really push him to be a phenomenal player when they're probably the bottom half of the league. But one takeaway I do kind of have looking at some of these rosters are there's not a ton of teams that are just flat out tanking anymore. Obviously there's Washington, but outside of Washington, I don't really know who is just a terrible, terrible team. Everyone kind of seems
New York Knicks.
Why you got to do that?
Somewhat decent. I do like Naz Reid a lot. Naz Reid is his ADP rising, or is this just no? So he's picking him 20 picks ahead of ADP. But I've been getting him in the 14th round as my third pick, and I really like Naz Reid a lot there.
I have a sneaky one for you guys here.
Yeah.
Have you guys been getting Kelly Olynyk exposure?
No, but where is he even? He's
188. I'm just looking at the board right now. He's at 188.
Yeah. What team is he on?
He's on Utah. And he it depends, I guess, on what you're looking for late, but like as far as like injury contingency, like when Markkanen wasn't playing, his usage was outrageous last year. Like late in the season when they were kind of pseudo tanking and Markkanen would sit out some games, he had some absurd fantasy nights.
Yeah, I think
I'm talking 50 plus points.
I think part of the concern with him is with John Collins there now, and people are thinking Walker Kessler is going to take that big jump. I think all three of those guys could start though. So if you're then saying Olynyk is like the next guy up, big man, like he could be starting in a lot of situations if one or two guys goes down. So is he a wing or a big?
He's a big, and my rebuttal there is like John Collins and Walker Kessler can't handle the ball. Kelly Olynyk can initiate an offense and handle the ball.
Yeah, no, that's true. No,
who do you guys like here?
Kelly Olynyk.
I like.
I kind of like Rui. Is that absurd?
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt is a wing there. I would take Kuminga if you're going to take a wing, or Grant Williams are the two I like.
Slow-mo
or Sexton.
Slow-mo
Sexton. Yeah, Sexton at guard too.
I'm going to take Kuminga. I need the wing, and I like the guards on the way back a lot better than I like the wings.
Explain Grant Williams to me, Bob. I don't get it.
He is the starting power forward on a team that has two of the best passers in the NBA.
But he's not good.
That's true. He's not good.
It's the usage. That's all I care about. He's a guy who's going to be getting rebounds, going to be scoring points, probably getting a couple assists. It's just the volume. And it's a situation where when I'm picking 13th, 14th round, like you're kind of hoping for a guy that can fill in for a week or two. I think he can do that. I am going to stick with my four wing approach here. I'm going to go guard the rest of the way. I'm going to go DeAnthony Melton as a potential guy who can get a little bit more burn if Harden gets moved. So obviously really no value at all if he doesn't get moved. But at this point in the draft, I like taking dart throws like that. And I'm hoping for my guy, Keontae Ingram, I said it again, Keontae George, coming back around. So hopefully he makes it.
I want to dig in more on this Grant Williams thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at people around him.
Yeah. At wing specifically.
At wing. I'm looking at wing.
Yeah.
I have Herb Jones over him. I probably have Gordon Hayward ahead of him because Hayward.
Trey Murphy's the wing, the backup wing there.
Herb Jones doesn't start?
I don't think with Zion.
Zion's back. Sorry. All right. Forget Herb Jones. Hayward is going to have spike weeks.
Yes.
Game.
It's not 100%. Sexy.
It's not sexy. He's the Adam Thielen, and funny enough, they both play in Charlotte.
It's a good point. I don't even have Hayward kind of on my list, my short list right here, but he is a guy that I remember looking when I was drafting off of ADP where I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. I can mix him in a little bit here and there, but part of it is just like they got a bunch of – so they have PJ Washington already. They have had Miles Bridges. I don't know what we want to call it. Plus they got Miller. So they already have three other kind of wings that I'm expecting to play a lot more by the end of the year. Like if I'm good, and that's the thing, I don't like drafting wings here anyway. I want to be good at wings before I get to this point. So this is like my last dart throw. Give me the guy who I feel like is going to start the entire year in Grant Williams. The guy I will say I'd be okay with someone taking is Jared Vanderbilt. It seems like he might be the starter in LA next to LeBron and AD, and if one of those guys are hurt, he could have a really good stat stuffing time. So yeah, I think that Jared is a great player to kind of go after as well in this range, but even the guys, go ahead.
Couldn't disagree more. I like the two guys sandwiching him in ADP over Vanderbilt. Kispert's starting in Washington on a bad team where he's going to be able to get shots up.
And And I have
Cam is more of a dart throw, but like Cam is very talented, and Houston's still very young, so he could find his way into the rotation. Cam Whitmore, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the issue is with the wings in Houston is there's just so many guys there now. With Amen is still kind of a wing. I guess with Porter kind of doing his own thing, there opens up a spot. I should take him a little bit more. But to your original
point, pick?
No, you're up. You're up.
You're on the clock. You're on the clock.
I'm gonna take Karras.
I more so like I don't want to push on Grant Williams anymore. I just think he's like a role player more than anything. But like Vanderbilt, what usage is he going to get out there, man?
It's only contingent if there's like an injury ahead of him. That's what you're hoping for. And like,
but I think
if
there's an injury ahead of him, Rui's going to get more work.
I don't know. I don't. There's also what's his name is going in the 130s. They just traded for him. Christian Wood is in there. I guess I'm kind of just off of the.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a different player. I guess I should keep an eye on that in preseason and see what that usage is like. It just seems like
I'm not saying take Rui. It's more like an anti-Vanderbilt take. Like I don't think there's a path to him getting. Like he's not a very good offensive player, so like I just don't see a path to him getting.
Apparently, he was working on his 3-point shot this offseason. He was doing the same thing in Denver 4 years ago, and that didn't help. I guess my part of it is I just like my former Nugget players when I can take them. I like Vanderbilt as a player.
I really like Kispert down there. As far as like guys who starting and will have a role this late, I think he's really interesting looking at just the board.
Yeah, that's a guy I'm a little bit low on. Like right now, I have some guys in the 170s, 180s going above him. What round are we in? Okay, so I'm probably taking one wing to end and then one guard. So at wing, I really like Beauchamp as a late round guy. Malachi Branham in San Antonio.
I like Branham.
Yeah, kind of going with my San Antonio take. And then Jonathan Isaac. What's going on with him?
Hey, I have him queued. Don't jinx him.
Okay. Well, that's one of the guys
I was just looking at him and I have no idea.
He's healthy.
Yeah.
But like, what's his role?
I don't know. He's healthy. He's a great player.
So, because what do they have at big? So they have Wagner,
Carter,
and then at wing they have
Paolo. So I guess Paolo's
and Paolo. So then, so he's kind of taking over that backup position. So if one of those guys gets hurt, he's getting into the starting lineup. But I couldn't pull up his card, but he had over a 1-to-1 ratio for points per minute. So that's one of the things I kind of look for as well, to see if you can have that kind of, especially at wing, to kind of have that kind of output. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to go Jared Vanderbilt here.
I love him.
I got my Laker team here with Vanderbilt, Davis, and
give me Juan Wick over Jared Vanderbilt too.
Go who?
It's Jamie's nickname.
It's
Juan Wick because of like his hair and stuff.
I like that. That is actually pretty good. Let me scroll down a little bit. But Hawkes I've been taking a few shares of here. So my last pick at guard, I'm probably going to go Terrence Mann. I've been taking him a lot he's a guy that if Harden does go there is probably on the outs in LA and could be playing somewhere. I think he can kind of run an offense, maybe not fantastic, but he's getting some of these other counting stats as well. The other guys in this area I like at guard are Bogey, Bogdanovich. If something were to happen to either Murray or Trey, I do think
he'll have some games anyway.
Yeah, and he'll have some games anyway. And then I really like Anthony Black as a guy who's just not really being drafted, as well as Jaden Hardy. If something were to happen to Kyrie or Luka, which everything seems kind of weird in that situation anyway. Like, let's say one of those guys gets traded. I think Jaden Hardy could step into a starting role with the ball somewhat in his hands. Obviously not more than Kyrie or Luka, but Yeah. Who are some of these other guys? Hochberg, I see you can kind of see the list here of Childs. If you can see ADP, some of the guys around 180 and above that you like at either the guard or wing position.
Yeah, I actually would be open to a little Marvin Bagley, like late. I think if the Detroit's just going to be a mess.
He might not make the team.
He might not make the team. He might eventually be starting. Like there's I think it's a high upside. He's a guy that had a lot of talent.
Kelly O.
I had him queued.
Nice.
I love Kelly O. I was going to take him.
I'll start mixing them in. That's a good pick.
Ooh, I like how Sick With It finished his draft. Brooks, Whitmore, and Kelly O. I like all three of those picks.
I think I'm probably going to go Isaiah Stewart to finish then. Who else is available?
So you're looking at bigs.
I want a big to wrap. I like Rashawn Holmes in Dallas.
Paul Reed. He if Embiid gets hurt, like he played really well last year, and he got a little bit of money. Yeah, he got a little bit of money this offseason. He was my highest rated big by a long shot. Then I had
I agree.
Plumlee, Hartenstein, and Nick Richards kind of in that next tier of guys I consider.
Love me some Hartenstein.
Yeah, but I think Paul Reed is fantastic at this value. That's part of the reason why I'm just not really taking Olynyk is because I really like Paul Reed as well as Horford. Because if something happens to Porzingis, and something always happens to Porzingis, we always misses 20, 30 games. They don't have any other bigs. Like
Horford's Keontae Ingram play, just like something always happens to James Conner.
Yeah, exactly. And Paul Reed has that similar kind of path. But to Child's point, Olynyk does have that contingent value as well. It just feels like there's more guys there, so it's a little bit muddier. But definitely worth taking because he's not being taken in a lot of drafts. So if he does go off, like that's really going to hit for your team. So I really like that. Just kind of before we wrap up here. Yeah, go ahead, Childs.
I'm looking at the guard board because I was looking at wings and bigs, but just some guys who are like maybe off draft boards that I think are interesting. Pritchard just got paid.
Yeah, he did.
He got paid. Like, I don't really know what the upside is, but like.
But it was before the holiday trade. That's the
was
thing.
It before? Okay.
Actually, I don't know that 100%. I think it was, but the other guy
like he got paid, but it wasn't a lot of money
for him. For a guy like
$30 million deal.
30 fully guaranteed $30 million. By the way,
yeah, it means you're probably expected to play when you're getting paid that much. The issue is Derek White is still there. Yeah. So, like, is he going to run the show? And you already have Brown and Tatum that do have a ton of usage at the wing.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's tough is like, okay, what are the things in front of him that have to go right in order for them to hit? And I just get a little bit weary there. But that is a good deep one. The other guys, I have Jalen Suggs. DiVincenzo is another guy I think could be interesting. One guy to mention, I'll probably mention it on the basketball pod tomorrow, but Denver Nuggets wing player, last round pick, not Hunter Tyson, but Julian Strawther looked really, really good. He looked terrible in Summer League, but playing with Jamal Murray and Jokic, he was really solid and looked like a guy where if Michael Porter Jr. misses time, he can go into that starting lineup and play that Michael Porter Jr. shooter / kind of big wing role. And he's not being drafted at all. Like, I think his ADP he doesn't even have an ADP right now. So I think he's a fun guy to take end of draft. Yeah, he's probably not going to do anything the first 2 months of the season, but I really like him. Real quick.
More for you?
Yeah. Keep going.
Agbaji. I don't know if I said that right, but I don't know the guard situation in Utah. It feels like there's not a ton of depth there, and like Sexton gets hurt a lot. Speaking of like people get hurt a lot, and like he played well down the stretch last year.
And people thought he was going to be starting, but isn't playing preseason with the starter. So people are kind of hesitating on like how much to move him in. The issue is he doesn't have like an offensive usage. Like he's a phenomenal defensive player, great rebounder. He's a better basketball player than fantasy player. Like I think I was looking at his stats and it was like I think he had like half a point per minute. It was something real. I can pull it up real quick. You said Obaji. I don't know how to spell that.
It's Ochai. I'm probably butchering it. Ochai Agbaji. AGBA.
Yeah, he had 628 minutes and only 347 points.
Okay,
so
he's not a scorer.
It's just tough when you're, especially at the guard position. If he was a wing, I'd be more interested. But at the guard position, it's just like if the ball isn't in your hands and you're a backup, it's just so hard. And part of the issue is like Taylor Horton Tucker is still there. You got your log jam with Clarkson, Sexton, Keontae George. So Chris Dunn is like getting some hype there as well. So it's just a little bit of a tough situation to break into. I like him as a player for sure, but fantasy, probably not the guy in this format. But yeah, Hawk, any sort of last takes? I was going to just kind of go through the board, see if there were any teams you like. I know Childs mentioned Sick with it. I've seen him in a bunch of drafts. He's a pretty solid drafter. But yeah, some other guys. Winky Christ is in like all of my drafts.
Winky's a legend.
Is he doing a lot of daily stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Vic, Laurie, I really like there. That's a solid start. Bain, I feel like is fine, but like when you're just comparing him to other guys in this range, like when Jaw comes back, like Bain is not going to be able to compete with the points per minute production that you're getting from Garland, DeJounte, even probably someone like a Giddey, Levine, or Maxey. So it's just hard for me to see the full season of him putting up elite top 12 guard numbers. I think is going to be very difficult for him to do.
Yeah, the only couple guys I saw in the Heat actually that were undrafted that I was like, yeah, I wanted to ask Childs about. Tommy Bryant getting I mean, if anything happens to, I feel like he's kind of like that third forward because you're probably pushing Jimmy down to the 3, and you're starting like kind of that Love Bryant at Bam.
I mean, if Bam goes down, Bryant will play a lot because Love can't. Jovic is not fit for that role. So, like, as far as like injury contingencies, he'll play a lot. I don't know what would happen with those minutes.
Yeah, and then I think Kyle Lowry went undrafted too. Is he just trash now?
Yes.
Is he not going to play?
Richardson was maybe getting some starting work, you said, right over it?
Yeah, Lowry is currently listed as the starter, but there's rumblings that Richardson, they might go no pure point guard in the starting lineup and start Richardson and Hero together. It's just, I don't know what you're going to get out of Lowry. Like, you'll get 3 to 5 games, probably, maybe a little bit more, but he's a little bit on the outs. Like, he just is not fully bought into Heat culture. And I think that's part of it. So I would touch Richardson before I touch Lowry.
That's fair. Yeah, but that's really all I have as far like I don't know my hoop. I'm getting into my hoops. Not really quite there.
Yeah. And I like the Bryant pick. He was on the Nuggets last year, didn't do great, but when he was on the Lakers and those other bigs were hurt, he was playing a lot of minutes and looked fine. He's got a little bit of a 3-point shot. He can play a little bit of defense. So if he's getting 25 to 30 minutes a game, like there's no reason he can't put up similar peak numbers. That's what we're thinking about at the back end of this draft, right? Like, what is if something happens, what's the peak performance? So you got like Robert Williams, James Wiseman, Derek Lively, Al Horford, Paul Reed, and Kelly Olynyk. Like, you could make a case that Thomas Bryant, in the best case scenario, can do just as well as those guys in their best case scenario. So I think he's definitely a guy, if you're doing like 4 big build teams, if you're kind of relying on 3, I probably wouldn't take him. But in a 4 late big build, I kind of like him in the last round. That'll be a guy I kind of throw on my board. But yeah, real quick, just to review the teams for us real quick. Hawk has SGA, Julius Randle, Paul George, DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Ayton. Really solid start. Getting the 2 young wings, Keldon Johnson, Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey,
Keldon.
Clay Thompson, D'Angelo Russell, Daniel Gafford, Zach Collins, Jonathan Kuminga, Karis LeVert, Jonathan Isaac, and Paul Reed. A lot of upside late. Really like that. For my squad, I got AD, Dame. I have that combo a decent amount. DeMar DeRozan, Kawhi Leonard, Jeremy Grant, OG Anunoby, Jalen Williams, Austin Reeves, Benedict Mathurin, Jalen Duren, Dennis Schroeder, Steven Adams, DeAnthony Melton, Keontae George, Jared Vanderbilt, and Terrence Mann. Don't love the end of my draft compared to yours, Hawk, but this is a very typical build for me, getting kind of a lot of wings in this 1 through 6 range of the draft. Yeah, I got to figure out my real take on OG here, and if I do want to begin taking some Keldon in front of him. But typically, I kind of want to be done in this 5th round. I just didn't love what I was looking at guard. I probably could have gone Scooter Simons, but yeah, I'm taking so much Shaedon Sharp. That's kind of like my bet. You had Sharp, right? Huh?
No, I missed Sharp. I went. Who did I go instead? I went.
Where was that?
I missed Sharp. I got Clay.
Oh no!
No. I went Clay over Sharp. That's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah. But that's fine. There's a round ADP gap between them. But I do think that those are similar type players. I would even probably put Mathurin in there. He looks pretty solid for his first preseason game. I don't know what he did recently, but all right.
He's a guy who he kind of reminds me. I know, same team. He reminds me a lot of when Paul George came in behind Danny Granger. I feel like Mathurin could take that next step and be. He's certainly athletic enough. That guy.
And Buddy might be on the way out.
Yeah, for sure. That's part of it. Is Buddy has been going higher than Mathurin, and it looks like Mathurin is starting over him. And Buddy maybe, like you're saying, he could be traded in the first half of the year. So, no, this has been awesome. I love doing these hoops drafts. I'll let you guys know if I hop on to do any more this weekend or even early next week. I got a couple of the pods going. Jordan and I are going to be doing our the Northwest and Atlantic preview tomorrow, and then we're going to try and finish up with the Pacific, and I can't even think of the third Western division, but the other division after that, probably on Tuesday next week. Quick programming note, I am going to be going to LA next Wednesday during this time of this podcast, so I will not be podcasting. I'm not sure if you two want to keep it rolling, but play that by ear. We may be doing it next week. If not, we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Love you guys. Any last words?
All hail King Montgomery.
It's Jover. Have a good night, everybody.